another thing that makes communism and capitalism similar, this is just a part two to the previous video, obviously, is that I know Jason Uwu is gonna, if he did see this video, he'd be like, oh, well, it's about workers' control. It isn't about, that other liberal shit. And to that I say, workers don't control shit, even under communism. And I mean, on paper they might, but let's give an example. Let's say you're a worker at McDonald's under communism. And I know Jason's response to that too. Well, there wouldn't be McDonald's under communism. Oh, great. So, on top of the fact that I'm still working the 8-hour shift a day, I have to turn around and fucking come home and cook my own food. What am I, a black person? What the fuck is this? But for the sake of the argument, you're a worker under McDonald's, or in his fantasy land, you're a miner, or you're a fucking you work at the nuclear power plant or whatever. Do you really think that you're going to control the means of production? Do you really think your individual voice is going to have any merit whatsoever in anything tangible? No, because why would it? It doesn't have anything to do with productivity. It doesn't have anything to do with the bottom line. So in reality, no matter the unions, no matter what's on the law books and things like that, you're still going to be overworked and underpaid, regardless. So what's the difference? So physically, there's no difference. You're still going to work. You're still tired. You're still sick of this shit. You're still unappreciated. And they can't do anything about the social ills, like the neatdom and the inceldom and etc. ad infinitum. So, what's the point in talking about it? What's the big difference where you have to? It's an identity thing. Like they talk about identity politics, but it's just something to make themselves feel better. It's a cope. They're coping by identifying as communists the same way people cope by identifying as Christian or as identifying as anything. And in reality, their society would be no major difference. And meanwhile, they let, family members and friends die, or at the very least be alienated, and they, stab them in the back and shit. For what? For the same thing? The only part that perhaps maybe they get out of it is the transitional period where there's a bit of instability, and in that they get a little peace and quiet, because, shit feels like it's gonna change, but it doesn't change. 10, 20 years down the line, if you were alive to witness all of it, you would see that in reality, nothing's really different. And let's face it, I'm not that fucking old, but I can already see that coming a mile away. I bet if you were to ask some of these 90-year-old, USSR grandmas or whatever, they'd tell you the same thing.